news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Plus, we'll have the water cooler question for you. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire. Here's my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
At Vandalay Industries, have you all done some high-level research to know that if you can get a person to touch an item of your merchandise, it is much more likely that it becomes theirs?
No, but I guess that makes sense.
People want you to try things on. They want, oh, touch it, feel that. Do you? That's why they want you to drive cars, because then you suddenly have at least this small sense of ownership about it, and it makes you more likely to buy it.
That makes sense.
Okay, so here, try this on. Try this on. Feel this.
I don't know if, everybody else would appreciate that there.
Yeah, probably not. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley. And the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
I'm tired. How about you?
Oh, I'm not as tired as I was, but that's okay. You got your Cougar colors on today. That must mean, let me see, I'm going to be a soothsayer and say volleyball today.
That is correct. We go battle between Cougars. We go from the football field to the volleyball court.
So from the gridiron to the volleyball court, from McLean County to McLean County. And at least you don't have to go to Calhoun today. So
that is true.
Ask you in a few minutes about your trip to Calhoun. At least you brought home a W, which was, I think, the only one that a few that you were looking forward to over the weekend. We're watching a work week warm-up. We're going to see another comfortable day with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Then highs are going to return into the upper 80s and 90s by midweek. However, get ready. Gather round, friends. By the end of the week, we might actually get some rain. Wouldn't that be a phenomenal thing? Yeah. We'll see sunny and a high of 83 today, clear and 56 tonight, sunny 89 tomorrow. But if you look at the extended forecast, rain chances creep up a little bit on Thursday, more on Friday, more on Saturday. So we're going to go through a stretch of about 4 days where there is a significant chance of rain, well, at least compared to what we've had recently, and things are starting to dry out. We definitely need, if you look at the drought map, you're starting to see yellow creep in areas of the Commonwealth, and so we will continue to monitor that in the coming days. We are going to get presidential debate tomorrow night. Both candidates are in, or at least will be in Pennsylvania, which is pivotal state. I think Trump said recently, he said that in August, an appearance in August, he said, if you win Pennsylvania, you're going to win the whole thing. There's not much electoral math that allows for a candidate to lose Pennsylvania and be victorious because of the number of votes that are on the table. So, of course, Pennsylvania is where that assassination attempt took place earlier in the summer. But we'll see what the showdown looks like on stage tomorrow night. The first time these two will be debating. Will you get, I heard it being debated earlier, did Trump just do very well in the debate against Biden, or did it just unfold in a way that it was to his advantage because Biden's performance was so poor? I don't know, but it's another one of those situations tomorrow night where the other's microphone, when it's his turn to speak, her microphone is off. When it's her turn to speak, his microphone is off. Maybe there might be a little more decorum. Late Saturday afternoon into the evening, immediately started hearing, I was listening to the UK Sports Network. I was in Lexington, but immediately started hearing Tom Leach when they giving news coverage or news alerts inside the UK postgame show. Because there were a bunch of people leaving Lexington. They were headed south on I-75, and where an incident had happened on I-75 in about, I guess, 8 miles or so north of London. Traffic was stopped in both directions. There had been an active shooter situation. Somebody was just taking shots at numerous people on I-75, and there were several injuries. 5 people were shot, and all were in stable condition early yesterday morning. Some of the victims had very serious injuries. It does look like everyone is going to survive. The manhunt was briefly called off yesterday as they got into the evening hours because the topography and terrain of that area is just so dangerous. It's nearly, it's very, very dangerous to do in the dark. There are a lot of cliffs. There are a lot of rocks that are sticking out. And then they mentioned they have a lot of caves, some of the caves that are very deep. That make it even difficult for the canines to pursue. They're looking for 32-year-old Joseph Couch. They found his vehicle, which looked like it was like a passenger car. It didn't very necessarily look like something that I would expect him to drive. But the interstate was closed 9 miles north of London, but reopened about 3 hours later. But it was a chaotic scene, and you hear active shooter on the side of the road, and you think, well, how does that work? But they continued that manhunt this morning and looking for that man. The body of a Meade County man who either fell or jumped out of a boat at the confluence of the Salt River and Ohio River at West Point has been found. The body of 46-year-old Derek Walker was found late Thursday night in the Salt River. We told you about this story on Friday, but obviously didn't have that information Friday morning that his body had been located. He was fishing with his father and a family friend Wednesday. We might have told you about this story on Thursday. I don't recall. But it was sometime before 3 a.m. on Wednesday when Walker's father, while checking on the boat lights, heard a splash. And Fish and Wildlife said witnesses said Walker began swimming backwards toward the southern bank on the Salt River. He went under and didn't resurface. His dad did go in after him, but was unsuccessful in locating him. All right. Lots of sports activity over the weekend. I mentioned Sam's trip to Calhoun on Friday. I guess let's start there because as far as I'm concerned, it's the highlight of the weekend. Trip for the Grayson County Cougars to see the McLean County Cougars. Turned out to be a very competitive game, and defense ruled the day, Sam.
Yeah, Grayson County had a couple of big stops, but so did McLean County. I mean, they had multiple stops that were huge at the end of that game and gave each other chances. It was like a boxing match. Both teams were landing left hooks and so on, and it just so happened that Grayson County landed the last one and came away with a big win. They hadn't lost. I think we talked about this on the morning show on Friday, that they hadn't lost a regular season home game in almost 3 years. So that it's a tough place to play. It's a good win for them, and now they get to turn their trip to Morgantown.
So 14-6 was the final, and I know that McLean County was driving at the end. So I think I heard you say something specifically like we're either going to overtime or the Cougars are going to win it here, because McLean County, I won't say they were knocking at the door, but they had the ball, I guess, approaching at least midfield the last time that I noticed. Clearly, the Cougar defense was able to shut them down.
It got down to the 20.
It did? They did? Okay, so they continued to march downfield after I got to see where they were. But the thing that I took away from it, I was seeing that McLean County had 6 points. And I remember in your report on Friday, you were talking about the number of times that McLean County had been held under 20 points in many games had been to Grayson County, and now again to Grayson County.
In the last 14, it's happened twice. Grayson County and Grayson County. And both of those were I guess, and if you want to combine those two totals, it was less than 20. So it was a really good performance and a tough place to play. They do a good job with the atmosphere there. So it was a big win for the Orange and Blue, definitely on Friday. I know Grayson Chaffins had a big game. Caden Hanshaw had a rushing touchdown as well. Grayson Chaffins was our MVP as well, very well deserved on both sides of the ball. He played a really good game, 92 receiving yards, if my memory is right.
Did you peek to see the outcome of the Butler County game?
What do you mean?
Do you know what Butler County did this past Friday night?
Yeah. They went 0-3. So they're 0-3 right now. They lost to Warren Central 17-14.
I would have fallen out of my chair if he had not known that answer.
Yeah, no, we talked about it.
Like, I would have been finished for the day. I'm like,
we talked about it.
Know that it's over.
Yeah, no, we talked about it post game because luckily that was a score update that we were able to pick up post game.
So if you were in Bowling Green on Saturday evening, you probably are already aware that Brady Beal was a big tailgating hit. That's probably the most important thing you need to know about the WKU game on Saturday. But the Beals did go to the tailgate for a while. I got a full report from Brady on the game yesterday on how things went. and WKU blanked EKU. They said, white out this, and went 31-0 over the Colonels.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of it, but it seems like that's exactly what it was to be expected.
I was wanting to watch it. I was doing a little prep work, and I was trying to find it because I was looking for something that might cheer me up after the misery of Saturday afternoon. But I couldn't find it televised on any channels that we had. So I thought, how do you not show WKU and
It's
EKU? I know
ESPN
next week's
Plus.
game was on. ESPN Plus had it. Okay, so I don't have the. I only have the ESPN minus. I don't have the ESPN Plus.
Well, if you
But
have Disney Plus, I think you do you have Hulu?
yes.
Well, then
yes,
you
we
should
have
have. Then if you have the bundle, then you have ESPN Plus too.
I just didn't look hard enough, I suppose. But I wasn't. I wanted something that would be worth watching, and that one would have been WKU moves to 1-1, and now, boy, they go from hate to hate from EKU to Middle Tennessee this weekend. Do they go to Murfreesboro?
Yeah, it's 100 miles of hate in Murfreesboro, in the aluminum can that is Floyd Stadium.
the, the aluminum can.
No, if you've been there, it's so there's so much metal in that stadium, so we just call it the aluminum can.
South Carolina came to Lexington and did not only defeat Kentucky. The word I guess I would say is dismantled. 31-6 was the final. It was the complete and total opposite of what we were led to believe was going to happen on Saturday. I don't know. Perhaps it was a bit of a trap game, and you got number 1 Georgia coming the next week, but I don't know. I think that's giving them a convenient excuse to say that there is something wrong with the offensive line, and I think that's where most of the attention should go and is probably going to stay, because even before the injuries that they suffered on the line on Saturday, there was just nothing impressive about the little blue wall that it has become. John Schlarman would be embarrassed the way that Kentucky's offensive line has been the last couple of years. And that used to be the centerpiece. That used to be the staple that offense was built around. And when you have a good offensive line, you can make up for some shortcomings at other skilled positions. But when you don't have an offensive line, your above average quarterback gets below average because he's not given time to do anything. And it is embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much more that really needs to be said that hasn't already been said. It was bad. It was bad on Saturday. I didn't even watch the fourth quarter. We were going to dinner with my parents, and luckily it was a place that didn't have TVs, so it was fine. Like
it's a fancy place then, no TVs.
Or I guess no, there were TVs, just not in our section of the area that we were sitting in. So it was like, you know what, that's fine. We're not missing anything. And it wasn't the only game that we would have wanted to watch was WKU, and I can't imagine that would have been on the TV.
So I was asked on my way home about it, and I think basically what I said to Miss Buckles was, I just got a bunch of Saturdays back this fall. I have no interest in watching that type of performance because that's not something you fix in a week. That's not something you fix in 2 weeks. They might defeat Ohio, but they might not, because now they've been exposed. But I don't know if this is the turning point. I heard it mentioned in the postgame that Stoops has seemed less than happy during the summer, and maybe it's because he thought he had that big fat Texas A&M check that got vetoed by the boosters, and he had to come back to Lexington. I don't know if he's embarrassed that he let Wofford back to run the offensive line. I don't know what's going on, but they are undisciplined. They are not as talented as they should be. He clearly is struggling with NIL, it appears. He made his pony up comment, and some of that has been taken care of, but it's going to be this is the equivalent of when they used to play the Governor's Cup in Game 1, and they would lose it to Louisville in convincing fashion, and then they would end up going 2-10, maybe. Because if you lose your SEC opener to South Carolina, you've got no chance against the Murderers Row that you've got later on in the season, especially when Georgia comes to town next Saturday.
Yeah. Yep.
Sam, you want to go see Georgia play next week?
I a center game that night, same time.
Well, hopefully some Georgia fan wants to go. I'm waiting for a fish to swim by and bite the hook.
You can come to Danville that night. They're playing Maryville.
I would rather go to Danville than go to Lexington on Saturday night. That's for sure. If you look at the AP Top 25, if you're an SEC football fan, you should be very impressed. But Kentucky's clearly not part of the picture. But the SEC has 6 of the first 7 spots. So it is, likely SEC is going to get 4 teams in the playoff, more than likely. Georgia is, of course, at 2-0. Then you got Texas at 2, Ohio State sneaking in at 3, Alabama is at 4, Ole Miss is at 5. That may be a little high for them, but they can only play who they're scheduled to play. So until someone beats them, they'll probably be there. 6 is at Missouri, Tennessee is at 7. And then you got to skip back down. But I'm seeing where LSU is at 16, Oklahoma is at 15. Louisville is at 19, and some people are speculating they may be ranked a little lower than they should be. So it will be interesting to see how that sorts out. Just so many new teams in the SEC, and the dynamics of college football definitely
And
changing.
Texas stomped the Big Ten too on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, and I even thought that was going to be a good game. That didn't turn out to be a game at all. I'm gonna tiptoe a little bit, but in 2 sentences, do you want to explain what went on at Paycor yesterday?
Not really.
I mean, I know they lost. I
There's
just don't
one
know why
sentence.
I don't know why they lost. Not really as a 2
I mean-
sentence, but it is a sentence. Yeah.
Yeah. When you have 2 fumbles and you go -2 in the turnover differential, you're not going to win football games. And they had one really, really bad fumble that they had a touchdown that would have tied the game. I think it's 7. And it was wiped off the board because I haven't seen a replay in the stadium. You can't really tell watching on a jumbotron. Apparently he dropped it, and then the next play, they're still in the red zone, wide open tight end over the middle. He's running into the end zone. He gets hit lightly and fumbles. So you went from potentially scoring 2 touchdowns in the period of 2 plays to scoring 0 touchdowns on the period of 2 plays, and from then on, it was not a great day.
Yeah, hard to win that way. Not a great weekend football-wise. Unless you're a Topper fan, then you're probably feeling pretty good.
And a Cougar fan.
Yeah, Cougar fans. That's nice to get the weekend started that way. Thanks for the bright spot, Cougs. We appreciate it. Got to get to it. Oh, Joey Logano won yesterday. NASCAR heads to Watkins Glen next week. Get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Owensboro Health offers compassionate care for addiction recovery. Nurse practitioner Kristen Buck provides a foundation of recovery from alcohol, opioids, and other addictive substances. With inpatient detox and outpatient medical assisted treatment, you don't have to walk alone on the road to recovery. To learn more about Owensboro Health Addiction Services in Litchfield, Kentucky, call 270-230-0212 or visit owensborohealth.org/addiction-help.
Yellowwood knows that a 5-star backyard is the place to make lasting memories. Like cookouts. Cornhole with friends. Ooh, a neighborhood potluck with your wife's pasta salad. The one with the feta. Oh, sorry. Or taking a nap on your deck in a hammock. Naps are memories. I love naps. For 5-star backyards and the most memorable experiences, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it.
If you're the average person, you only think about income taxes from January to April. But the choices you make 12 months a year have a big impact on your tax return preparation and even your refund. Making adjustments to your financial matters during tax filing season is like trying to lose weight during a routine doctor visit. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart work year-round to advise clients on important financial decisions so that during tax filing season, you're carrying a lot less stress and worry. Join the Peace of Mind team with Buckles, Travis & Hart, 270-259-5604 or GraysonCPAs.com.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start October 21st. Call 270-259-1540. ECTC, College for the Real World.
On the basketball court, you have to know where the lines are. It's just as important to know where the lines are in your own yard. Kentucky law generally requires you to have underground utility lines located before most excavation work, even if it's on your own property. If you don't call 811 and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate you and you may be fined up to $1,250. Much better to stay within the bounds of the law and call before you dig to start putting in that backboard or goalpost. For more information, visit psc.ky.gov. This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
Alexa Rastigue was a student at Bellarmine University. When she got the call, no one wants to receive.
A drunk driver was driving under the influence, going 127 miles per hour.
He caused a crash, killing 2 and severely injuring Alexa's mother and brother.
He left that scene without a scratch, while my family suffered.
Drive sober, Kentucky, because drunk driving is a dead end.
Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Target shoppers can now use the Store app from within Apple CarPlay. According to a Target press release, iPhone users can access drive-up and order pickup services from their vehicle dashboards. The CarPlay interface displays the Drive to Store screen from the Target app, making it easier to complete a curbside order. A marketing firm that works with Facebook and Google is admitting that the microphone on smartphones is always listening and can be used to place targeted advertising.
We've given up a lot of our privacy for convenience over the past 10 years and even longer.
Tim Lawless, who is a cyber engineer at UTSA, says there are easy ways of turning this off, but he says you lose the convenience of voice recognition. In a statement, a spokesperson for Facebook's parent company disputed the report, saying they do not use your phone's microphone for ads. And Anthropic is rolling out a big business version of its chatbot. Claude Enterprise is specifically designed for businesses to harness the power of artificial intelligence. Check Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Today is I Love Food Day. It's not just for me. Everybody gets to say I love food. It's not reserved for me only. It's Wonderful Weirdos Day.
Hey.
Saluting all the people who are kind of quirky. When I met Miss Buckles, that was one of the words she immediately used to describe herself, was quirky.
Yes, if you don't find me quirky, there may be something wrong with
But I mean, you just stated it right up front,
yes,
didn't you?
I
mean,
just
it was
come out of the gate
it
with
was
quirky. Yes.
right out there. It's International Sudoku Day.
Ah, I gifted a Sudoku book yesterday.
I when I sit down to play Sudoku,
I can't do it.
I like it okay, but it's not very.
I can't do
It's
it.
not very relaxing. Like it seemed like harder work than it should be, but maybe that's the point. But speaking of trying to stay, keep your cognitive abilities sharp, watching game shows like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune can boost cognitive health. I guess we probably knew this, but scientists and experts are confirming it. You get new Wheel of Fortune tonight. With this will be the first week of Ryan Seacrest, and I presume the new season of Jeopardy begins tonight. But you may not realize it, but when you interact with the game shows you're watching, your mind is actually processing information and working, even if it's Wheel of Fortune, and even if you're only passively playing, you're, in the back of your mind, you're like working these puzzles while you might be doing something else. The question was asked, can game shows boost memory acuity? Watching game shows may help access previous information that you've previously learned, especially in the case of like Jeopardy, where you got to go back and go, oh, I know the answer to this. There's also evidence showing that playing along with these types of game shows can improve cognitive and social engagement, which is known to be associated with better overall mental health. You can watch with friends, family, connect via web chat, whatever. Also, if you watch these programs, both Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, you will hear the number of contestants that talk about when they were young, they watched with their grandparents. And so it has intergenerational benefits. So if you're a grandparent who plays show with your grandchildren or a family who watches game shows together, there's some emerging evidence showing that intergenerational engagement, which could potentially be achieved through shared TV gameplay, may lead to several important benefits for both older and younger individuals. And then The question, what can you do to augment your game show interest? Well, if you see a topic on Jeopardy that interests you, say American literature, or you're intrigued by a trip to Italy on the Showcase Showdown, or The Price is Right, consider diving deeper into that subject or destination. Do research, check out a book at the library, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, it's not mindless television like some programming could be. There are actually benefits to the game shows that are available to you. Probably not so much when you say no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. You probably need to do more Jeopardy if you want the highest level of cognition exercise.
That is one thing that my grandparents, they never really, I mean, Wheel of Fortune was on, but I don't know if that was the time we were having dinner or what, but neither of them were actively watching like your grandparents.
Not
or
big
your
game show
parents.
people?
No.
Well, was it not just those game shows, or did they not care for The Price is Right
I
either?
don't think
or?
so, because Mama always did her morning chores, like while some of those things were on, and then midday came on, and after that, soap operas. So she was finished with her chores before soap operas. So,
okay.
yeah.
I guess she could have done chores during the soap operas.
Well, maybe. But it's funny, like now I try to get her away from some of the things that drive me. I'm tired of Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons and all that. Bless her heart. But, you know, she will not let me go to the game show channel. It is a big no.
It's a shame. Maybe she doesn't like whammies.
Maybe.
Here are 12 lessons that most parents learn too late in life. 12 lessons most parents have learned too late in life. And number one, there's no such thing as perfection. It's understandable if you feel the need to be perfect as you're a parent, but you're just not going to do it. No one is. There was only one person that was. No one else will be. So get over it. Doesn't mean that it's okay, not okay to strive, but give yourself a little pass. Overprotection neglects growth. You keep kids like wrapped up. You know, like, don't go there. They don't grow at the level that they might need to grow. Quality time is better than materialistic gifts. That's a hard one to figure out for a lot of people, but it is true. Listen, don't lecture. Okay, yeah, that's hard to do. But if you show the ability to listen, you'll get the opportunity to do so more. The more you lecture, the fewer opportunities you'll have to listen. They learn that pretty quick. So.
And ask questions. You know, before you start in on a lecture, maybe there's a good reason why the binder is not in the backpack, or, you know, ask the questions.
Yeah, you weren't there to see the
Right.
way that everything unfolded,
Right.
so don't, and also the way you ask the questions and the tone that you use when you ask the
Absolutely.
questions is important. If it's pointed or indicting, you know, that type of tone, then it's just still the same thing as lecturing or attacking. It's just packaged differently. The fifth one is school is important, but so is your child's mental health. Finding the balance of these things is very difficult. School is important. You know, when I was growing up, you didn't miss school unless basically your arm got chopped off. Not quite that, but it was something that it's the underpinnings of work ethic and making choices. And sometimes you gotta, when you're an adult, you have to go to work when you don't feel like it. You might be a little bit sick, but you can't afford not to go, or something's more important. So if you're in a household where you go, you don't feel good, nah, don't worry about school, it's not that big of a deal, then that's dangerous. But at the same time, you also have to be able to know what's really going on from a mental health standpoint, because was there bullying in my era? There, of course there was. Was it was a fraction of what it is now, because the bullying tools are so much more powerful than they were in the Conestoga wagon days that I grew up. You know, I've said this many times, is that at 3:15, when I got off the bus at 2232 Bowling Green Road, I was safe and I was protected until at least 7:30 the following morning. And then perhaps the possibility of bullying could start again on the bus or at school or whatever. And I was not overly bullied. I don't mean to suggest that. But I just mean now, between TikTok and Facebook and all the places online that kids hang out, it is constant around the clock. So as parents, yes, I'm one who says school, 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 go to school, go to school, go to school. But you have to be open-minded enough to also say there may be something going on here that you don't fully know, that there's a legitimate reason why school is a bad idea today. And you would like to think that if you find out about those things, it's just a matter of going to school and sitting down with people and figuring it out and moving forward. Not always that simple. Number 6, a little pain is a good thing. It might sound counterintuitive, but your child experiencing a little pain is a good thing. Doesn't mean physical hurt is okay or making them cry. It just means feeling a little pain with little interference on your part helps them establish themselves and understand. But it is hard to watch. Why are you smiling?
Well, are we talking about, is this one of the times that, it's a paper cut type thing, and those really do hurt, and we go, oh, you need to, or do
No.
we need to call the ambulance? Is it one of those?
No,
or-
let's say your kid doesn't make the team,
Oh, okay.
breaks up
All
with their
right.
partner.
Okay,
Instead of
okay,
rushing to make them
okay.
feel better, give them some space.
Okay.
Everybody needs to be broken up with. Everybody needs to
Yes.
not make the team. Everybody needs to,
Yes.
not everybody wins the stuffed animal at the county fair.
That's true.
So just allowing them to experience that part of life is important. Now,
Okay.
don't let them languish too much, but that's just the way, though that's not the worst thing that's ever going to happen to them in life. So the sooner they embrace those things, maybe the better. 7, taking time for yourself doesn't make you a bad parent. Balance is important. Your children don't need to have it all figured out. They will eventually get it figured out, or at least you hope they will. Help them. 10, set boundaries. 11, some things aren't worth arguing over. And 12, take interest in things your child enjoys. Even if you don't, take an interest in the things that makes them interesting. All right, one final thing before we get to break. I love this now. I don't love the fact that I'm getting older, but I do love the fact that there's not just one generation that's younger than I am. Like we've got generations that we look back and see distinct differences. So Gen Z is making fun of older generations, which in this case is millennials. Right?
Yes.
You got the Gen Zers
Yes.
making fun of not the Gen Xers, the millennials. And it says Gen Z makes fun of older generations for not using their phone to make major purchases. So millennials will only buy a refrigerator on a laptop. Gen Z will buy a car on their iPhone. Sam, is there a purchase you won't make on your phone?
I don't know that I'd buy a car, but I feel like buying a car, that's something you almost have to do in person, just because you want to see it.
Not necessarily.
I've seen
For
it
me.
done the other way.
For
Yeah,
me,
you.
I'm saying that I would not do it. I mean, I guess the same thing like with a house. I mean, I guess you could theoretically work through and do probably a lot of that on your phone, but that's probably another thing you'd probably like to see it.
Is there something you won't buy on your phone?
I don't think so. Can you think of something I wouldn't?
I not you in particular,
Okay.
but I started thinking about self. And I read someone else who is, I think they're a Gen Xer. They might not be. I think they might be a millennial. But they summed it up for me. They will not book travel unless it's on a laptop, but it's because of the number of pictures and the ability to see the accommodations and all the variables. And I find it to be a little bit hard. Like the more
that's true.
detail I need on a purchase, I think the more likely I am to want an enhanced experience where the monitor is bigger, I have a full keyboard, and I'm less likely to make mistakes, etc. But
But if we're staying at the same place,
if
we
it's
always
the same place, it doesn't matter. That's right. But Gen Zers, they don't know what a big keyboard is.
That's true.
They don't care anything about it. They're just like, yeah, just give me that, and there's no telling what they'll buy. So it is funny to see the two youngest generations war back and forth with one another. I'm no longer in it. I'm on the outside looking in. Got to get to a break. Today's water cooler question. Your chance to win. Coming up here on In the Know.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
Holiday World and Splash and Safari, our family loves you. But look, I'm trying to teach my kids there's nothing free in life. And then we get here and there's a lot that's free. Parking, sunscreen, soft drinks. We love water coasters like Mammoth, the new family coaster Good Gravy, and 500 drones lighting up the sky. But the whole ride home, all I hear is...
Free smoking! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Okay, I guess some things in life are free.
Get tickets today at holidayworld.com. The Department for Aging and Independent Living within the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services wants to promote the Aging Disability Resource Center, a statewide toll-free phone line that provides older adults, individuals with physical disabilities, caregivers, and professionals with information to promote independent living. Call to learn about home-delivered meals, in-home services, respite care, caregiver support, and Medicaid waiver programs to help those age 60 and over. Call 877-925-0037. Kentucky, forward together. Paid for by the Department for Aging and Independent Living, the KBA, and the station.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather!
We'll see plenty of sunshine in today's forecast with highs in the upper 70s and the low 80s. For tonight, a few clouds overhead, but overall mostly clear skies. Temperatures falling down into the 50s in most spots. For tomorrow, sunny, highs in the mid to upper 80s. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
But on the midnight watch, I realized why twice you ran away. Think about how many times
Did you know Tic Tacs got their name from the sound they make when tossed around in their container?
I think I did know that
How they
actually.
got their name. I fell victim to that in church yesterday.
You did.
I thought I was being so slick. I got some Tic Tacs out. But then when I laid the Tic Tacs down on the pew beside me, I got them down there quiet. And then about that time, I had to move my jacket. I'm like, I need to adjust my jacket. Well, I moved my jacket. Well, the Tic Tacs were on my jacket, and they just went tic tac, tic tac, tic tac, tic tac.
So there are two reasons, because I don't know that you've ever paid or have seen me with Tic Tacs, right?
Not very often.
No. So there are two reasons. One, it was a buy one, get another one half off, whatever. And I know that Lou loves orange. Alea loves the orange ones.
Okay.
So that was kind of part of her back to school and her backpack kind of deal. So then I got the ones that you saw. The other is that if I sit next to my Aunt Debbie in church, you cannot unwrap a peppermint.
But somehow Tic Tacs are less noisy?
Yes, believe it or not.
Interesting.
It is. I can make less noise with that.
It's funny. Did you have a good Grandparents' Day?
I had a great grandparents' day.
It was nice.
First one ever.
Yeah, we
I
got
know,
to,
right?
instead of just being celebrants, we got to be celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was nice. Brady James was here yesterday, and his parents were here too, so that's good.
Yes.
And then had lunch with the grands, and
Mm-hmm.
we just did well. Here's today's water cooler question. If you or your household have not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win. You're going to text your response to 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. People who do this, Holiday World today, Sam, Holiday World. People who do this on a regular basis are happier than those who don't. People who do this on a regular basis are happier than those who don't. What is it? 270-259-6000. Go ahead and ask, do we do this?
Do we do that?
Yes. People who do this on a regular basis are happier than those who don't. What is it? 270-259-6000. Okay, you got your answers written down, locked in?
Yes.
Great. Tammy, got your answers locked in?
I do.
Mine came to me pretty quick.
All right, good. Beetlejuice, the sequel held up. It jolted the box office. $110 million in its opening weekend. Deadpool and Wolverine at 2, Reagan at 3, Alien at 4. It ends with us at 5. $110 million for opening weekend of Beetlejuice. Good for them. Dick Van Dyke won a Creative Arts Emmy at 98 years of age over the weekend. That's on Saturday. He tied Norman Lear as the oldest recipient of a Creative Arts Emmy by winning the award for Outstanding Variety Special for his recent special, Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic. Congratulations to him. Some others that won Creative Arts Emmys over the weekend. The Oscars won an Emmy. That's kind of odd. Now, if they could the Oscars get an EGOT? I don't guess the Oscars can win an Oscar, so it's impossible for the Oscars to get an EGOT. SNL won a Creative Arts Emmy. They got 6 of them, in fact. And Billy Joel's Madison Square Garden special got an Emmy as well over the weekend. Jeopardy won Outstanding Game Show for the second year in a row. But Ken Jennings lost game show host to Pat Sajak. You got to give Pat Sajak,
Right.
yeah, you got to give him his Emmy on the way out. Over the weekend, we learned that the Super Bowl. Before that, the Tonight Show, following Stephen Colbert and some of the other late night shows, going to 4 episodes per week. So they did this back in the Carson days. Carson used to have guest hosts on Fridays because he didn't want to work, and then Regis was notorious for not working on Fridays. And now the Tonight, these are cost-saving measures because late night TV is withering. It is going away slowly. And there may be in the next few years where you see these shows disappear, but to save money, the Tonight Show is going to 4 nights a week, Monday through Thursday, because people are busy doing other things on Friday nights. Kendrick Lamar will headline the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. And so for the first time, it's one of those where I go, okay, does that say more about the Super Bowl halftime show, or does it say more about me? I know who Kendrick Lamar is. I can probably name a couple of Kendrick Lamar songs.
Really?
Yeah, didn't he do that?
I
They
can't.
They Not Like Us? Isn't that the song from this year? That They Not Like Us?
How does that go?
They Not Like Us. They Not Like Us. They Not
You know, I
Like
mean,
Us. It's a Drake diss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, I'm hip. I know there's a Drake and Kendrick diss.
What are
I
they?
know it.
What are they complaining about? Do you know all this? Like,
Yeah, he's saying some very bad things about Drake.
no, I mean it's
I don't know, but
it's
they're very-
like really bad things.
I know. That's why I'm saying it. I think it's maybe one of the reasons
Now,
that I know it.
are you Team Drake or Team Kendrick?
Well, if Kendrick is correct, I got to be Team Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But what if he's lying? Then don't you have to be Team Drake?
Then I'm Team Switzerland. I'm just going to stay out of it. But most of the artists who have performed at the Super Bowl halftime show as headliners, I would know every song that they did. I mean, I like every song, but I go like, yeah, I know that song. I know that song. I know that song. Kendrick Lamar is going to perform at halftime as the headliner, and I might know 2 songs. Like, if he doesn't do those 2 songs, I won't know any. So have I officially crossed the Rubicon? Like, am I now over on the other side? Or are they trying to do something innovative? Because they handed the Super Bowl halftime show off to Dr. Dre and said, okay, you take care of it. And they've tried to make the halftime show more representative of the fan base and the labor force of the NFL, to be fair. So I don't know if this is just a manifestation of that. But he was part of that Dr. Dre halftime show that Snoop Dogg was part of, et cetera, when they were at SoFi. So he's no stranger to the stage. So that caused someone to look into people who have made multiple appearances at the halftime show. Gloria Estefan, 3 different years, 92, 95, and 99. I would have never. I know that they headlined one, but I didn't know she was in 3 different shows.
What were we doing then? Like, right?
Yeah. 92, 95, and 99. But 3 times in the 90s. Stevie Wonder in 94 and 99. So clearly Stevie and Gloria were in the same show. Justin Timberlake in 01, 04, and 18. I think we know what happened in at least one of those. Nelly was in 01 and 04. Bruno Mars in 14 and 16. He headlined once, but then he was joining a special guest. Beyonce in 2013 and 2016. Yeah, Beyonce was the headliner. Bruno Mars came out as a one-off. Mary J. Blige in 01 and 22. Usher in 11 and 24. will.i.am in 11 and 24. And then Kendrick Lamar, as I mentioned, was in 2022, and he will be in 2025. So, okay. I mean, I'm not one of those people that, it's just like, just turn it off and do something different if you don't like it. That's fine. They're not really doing it for me. And Nicole Kidman is announcing the death of her mom, Janelle, after leaving the Venice Film Festival. She this morning, the actress announced the death of her mom at age 84 through a statement from her publicist. And she read that on stage at the Venice Film Festival September 6th while accepting the Stars Award for Best Actress. I noticed that you're watching The Perfect Couple.
I am, and I've read it.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I read it prior.
So I started it. I think I've watched the first episode, but I noticed it was on. So far, so good? Or
I think so. I think they took a little bit. I mean, if you've read the book, they took a little bit, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, approach to it from the character standpoint, one character in particular, but I think it's well done so far.
Got a pretty broad cast. So
it is.
Yeah, so far so good. Got to get to a break. We'll come back, figure out who wins the water cooler question. I'm going to challenge you with the point to ponder today. You will have an opinion on this, I promise you. And we'll have chart toppers, pluralism, and more coming up.
Moms, do you have an identity problem? Do you introduce yourself as just a mom? Ladies, with motherhood, you're never just a mom. You're more like a superhero. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. Moms often have a way of seeing their shortcomings and minimizing their role in their children's lives. I don't believe those perceptions are accurate, but I can certainly understand what drives them. On the surface, there's nothing glamorous about chasing kids around the house, fixing meal after meal, and stepping on toys scattered down the hallway. But I agree with author Lisa Jo Baker, who says moms are modern-day superheroes. Their capes may be a little tattered at the end of a long day of laundry and runny noses, but moms deserve superhero status for all they do. There's nothing ordinary about motherhood. Moms aren't simply changing diapers, they're shaping character. Directing the course of a child's life is no easy task, and that's why a lot of mothers may feel like they're doing a terrible job. But remember this, motherhood isn't hard because you're bad at it. It's hard because, like no other role in life, it requires sacrificing your own wants and desires for others. So moms, give yourselves some grace. Laying down your life for your children deserves more than just a mom. It means you're a superhero. To help your family thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
January 2nd, 2007. Time for a change.
CMB's point to ponder for today. What's the best cereal of all time? What's the best cereal of all time? That's CMB's point to ponder for today. Everyone has to have an opinion. You can't live life and not have an opinion on the best cereal of all time.
Hard one, but probably Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Cookie Crisp.
Or what was the second one?
Cookie Crisp.
Okay.
I
Samurai.
tell you what, you could have given me a lot of guesses, and I never would have guessed that your guess you would have said Cookie Crisp. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's very specific to a particular era.
What about Frosted Flakes?
Frosted Flakes. Okay.
like those.
All right, it's a good choice.
Or Lucky Charms.
I'm probably going to go with Cheerios.
Ugh.
Yeah.
As
No, I love Raisin Bran, but
Ugh.
I mean, as far as fun, yeah, it's gonna be. I ate a lot of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Cookie Crisp. Like through
Sam,
the years.
the first lunch that Miss Buckles and I ever had, Raisin Bran was an offering. Because I knew that she loved Raisin Bran, so I didn't know that she wanted it for lunch, but I
Do
wanted
you
her to
remember
have
the
the option.
beginning? Quirky. You remember that in the beginning?
Where did you go?
I'm not the only one. Okay.
We went on sort of a picnic. That's all.
Yeah.
That's just what I'll say.
And
The
what a
best-
picnic. Let's eat our Raisin Bran sitting on our picnic.
By the way, it's not what she had, but she was impressed that it was a choice. That's what I'm saying. Number one is correct. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is ranked as the number one cereal of all time among all the people polled. They asked everyone. They covered the globe. They got to every
Wow.
single person. They put it in a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet ranked it and said Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Number two, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay.
3, Captain Crunch.
Ooh, I forgot about Captain Crunch.
Oreos at 4, Fruit Loops at 5, Apple Jacks at 6, Frosted Flakes at 7, Lucky Charms at 8, Honey Bunches of Oats with Almonds at 9, and Cocoa Puffs at 10. Just regular straight up Cheerios, nowhere on the list.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, nobody in their right mind would pick that over Frosted Flakes.
They're kind of boring. Without a doubt, they're kind of boring.
They're not just kind of boring, they are boring.
That's the thing. He doesn't tell. That's one of his favorite things about going to his grandparents' house because they the sugary cereal.
Yeah,
Remember,
but
he
it
tells
was-
that.
It was a treat. It
Oh,
was
we
it was a treat.
we always had to have, our choice was that our cereal had to be we had to look at the nutrition facts and it had to be under 10 grams of sugar. And if it was over,
I think I knew this about you.
yeah, and if it was over, we weren't allowed to have it. But if we called Grandma, guess what we'd have at Grandma's house?
My mother, she thought we were going to be satisfied with grape nuts.
Hey, I like grape nuts.
She was wrong.
I really like those
You
things.
could make them into wallpaper paste if you just let them sit a little while and you stirred them up. You could probably patch a PVC pipe with them. The water cooler question was, people who do this on a regular basis are happier than those who don't. What did you write down?
I wrote down sing out loud.
Sing out loud. Sing a song. Sing out loud. Sing out strong. Samurai.
Sleep in.
Sleep in. Sam's getting close. Nap.
Oh.
Nap is the correct answer. And I saw, by the way, I saw Go to Church. I saw Gardening, Eat Sweets. I saw Smiling and Being Friendly to Everyone. I saw Pray. There were several that were there. Sam, you can scroll through. Did anyone know Nap?
It doesn't look like it, but I will say, using the context clues of you all, gardening was a good guess. Like saying, yes, you do that. That's a good guess.
Yeah. Here's what would have given it away. I almost said we did this yesterday.
Oh, see, that wouldn't have.
And that would have given it away.
To her.
Yes, to her, yes. But I think a lot of people might nap on a Sunday afternoon, but we had a big lunch.
We did.
Had family over. Being a grandparent tires you out, too. You got to have a nap after that. Little nap. So on TV tonight, we get Monday Night Football. We have the Jets at the 49ers. So Aaron Rodgers gets a chance to do over. 52 weeks later, gets another shot. And they've not made it quite as big a deal this year, so that's nice. Today's highlight
And volleyball tonight, too, at 7:30.
Oh, yeah. At 7:30? Wow, it's late. I didn't realize it was that late.
Yeah, volleyball usually is but volleyball is like basketball as far as start times.
I can record it and watch it early tomorrow morning, right, on my DVR.
Or you could subscribe to the K105 YouTube channel, and you'll just be able to sit on the couch and get a notification when it goes live.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'll be asleep at that time because it's 7:30.
7:30?
Didn't I mention the Conestoga Wagon days? I'm old. I
Get you a bowl of Raisin Bran and sit there and watch it.
This date in 71, prisoners seized control of the maximum security Attica Correctional Facility near Buffalo, New York. Took 42 staff members hostage. California was admitted as the 31st U.S. state this date in 1850. Birthdays today. Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics is 72. Hugh Grant is 64. He was the less scary of the two Eurythmics. Hugh Grant is 64. Adam Sandler is 58. Stop looking at me, Schwan.
Love it.
Rachel Hunter is 55 today. Eric Stonestreet is 53. Henry Thomas is 53. Yeah. E.T. Elliot. Michael Bublé is 49, and country singer Hunter Hayes is 33. Is he that fancy-like dude?
Yeah.
I think he was. Gone but not forgotten. Colonel Sanders, born this date in 1890. No, she not Colonel Sanders. Adam Sandler's birthday. You got to pull out all the good Adam Sandler lines. Otis Redding. Looks like Mama's wrong again. Otis Redding was born this date in 1941. No, she not Colonel Sanders.
I'm surprised you didn't do any Price is Right lines then, since you were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, the price is wrong.
Price is wrong, Bob.
Ralph Donner, you don't know what you got. Number one, 61. Never heard it before. Probably never hear it again. Let's go to 1970. Diana Ross, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. If you're a glutton for punishment, want to hear more about the UK football game on Saturday, you folks on the Moose are getting it in about 15 seconds. Ain't No Mountain High Enough, number one in 70. You've probably heard it. Let's go to 1979. Earth, Wind, and Fire, number one, After the Love Is Gone. The thing I remember about this song mostly is I think that this is in the episode of WKRP in Cincinnati where they pay tribute to the where those people died in the Who concert in Cincinnati. They were having a vigil, and this is like the song that was playing when they went to the closing credits, and they didn't use their normal closing theme in that episode. Just remember that very specifically. I think it was. I'm almost certain it was that song. In 88, George Michael, number one with Monkey.
Oh my goodness.
Anybody seen Bad Monkey on Apple TV yet?
No.
I've seen the first 2 episodes. It's Vince Vaughn. All right.
Okay.
It's not too bad. It's, what's that? Hyacinth is the author's name the book's based upon. Spice Girls 2 Become 1 in 97. Fergie, London Bridge in 06. Salento, Watch Me, number one 9 years ago today. We saw London Bridge yesterday. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, the real opportunity for success lies within the person and not the job. The real opportunity for success lies within the person and not the job. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the